right. Okay, so now what we're going to do is, again, we're going to now get the remaining two sides of this triangle. Okay? And we're going to use our wonderful friend here, trigonometry. Okay? All right. Now, so I'm basically telling you here that theta is 10 degrees. Okay. And what I'm also telling you is that the hypotenuse here is 4. C is the hypotenuse, right? So if we want, for instance, to get A, what trig function are we going to use? Well, what trig function deals with the adjacent and hypotenuse? Well, the trig function that deals with them, adjacent and hypotenuse, is cosine. Cosine. Okay? So we're going to use cosine to get A. Right? Oh, good. I thought I made a mistake, but I don't think I did. So 4, I say here, C is 4. So 4 is the length of the hypotenuse, right? We want to get A. Cosine of the angle is adjacent over hypotenuse. Adjacent over hypotenuse, as you can see. Right? As you can see. Now, how do we get A from here? It's just like what we did before, right? What do? You cross multiply, right? Right? We're going to multiply both sides by our wonderful 4. Number 4. Here we go. Right? How does that help us? Because now these 4s go bye-bye. They cancel. And we're left with A, which is 4 times the cosine of 10 degrees. So we get A is 4 times the cosine of 10 degrees. That is what we get here. Okay, that's what we get here. Now, what about cosine of 10 degrees? Well, again, that you can use a calculator. I mean, I definitely don't know this, but by memory, what cosine of 10 degrees is. But thank goodness we don't have to, because we have our calculator. So cosine of 10 degrees is about this, right? So A is going to be about 4 times that. And this is what A is. And of course, we round it to 2 decimal places to get this. Okay. All right, that's awesome. Okay, now that's for a C. Excuse me, that's for, what did I do? Well, that should be an A. Let me fix that. Although I think everyone knows what I mean, but that should be A. There we go. Well, it's sort of an A. Okay, so that's for A now. Are there any questions about this? Okay, what about B, though? Well, B is the opposite side. Right? B is opposite. We have hypotenuse and opposite. Opposite the angle. So what do we use? Well, opposite, hypotenuse. We're going to use sine. Sine. Okay? We're going to use sine. So what's going to happen now is, we're going to have sine of the angle, and that should be 10 degrees over here. Let's see if I can fix that quickly. Let's see if I can quickly fix that. There we go, fixed it. Okay. So basically we have sine of 10 degrees. Okay. That is going to be B over 4. b over 4. So it's really just the same kind of calculation we saw here. We multiply both sides by 4, and we get b is sine of 10 degrees times 4, which turns out to be 4 times the sine of 10 degrees, okay? Which turns out to be 4 times the sine of 10 degrees. Okay, so what's sine of 10 degrees? Well, if you do it in your calculator, rounding to 4 decimal places, this is what you would get. This is what you would get. So b would be about 4 times this, right? And that's equal to this product. Excuse me, that's equal to this number. And of course, you round it to 2 decimal places, you get 0.69. So that's what b is. All right, that's awesome. Okay. All right, so any questions on this? All right, well, I think it'd be good to do another example with synthetic division. And I figured it'd be good to do that, good practice, I guess. All right. Okay, so again, we're dividing by x plus 2, right? But you have to be careful, don't you? Because with synthetic division, you can't just divide by x plus something. It has to be of the form x minus something. X minus something, right? But that's no big deal, because what we can do is this. We can write this as x minus 2. If you have x plus 2, that's equal to x minus negative 2. But now we're good because we have minus. We have minus. All right, that's no big deal. That's cool. What happens now? Remember, we list the coefficients, including minus signs. There's no x term here, right? Remember, we need to have, if we're missing a term, we put 0 as a placeholder. It's just like when we were adding and subtracting polynomials vertically. Same thing. We put 0 in as a placeholder. Okay. And then we have 1 over here as well. And I think I've said this before, but I'll say it again just to refresh everyone's memory, I guess. If you decide to use on the final, some people did this on the exam, polynomial long division, that's fine. That's fine. I mean, I didn't know if people knew that already, but I think that's taught actually in Algebra 2, in a high school, that is. So, or maybe somehow you learned it some other way, I don't know. But if you use that, that's fine. I just figured synthetic division would be better, although polynomial long division is more fun, so because you can do a lot more with it. But anyway, this is good. So from here, we bring the 2 down, right? And it's just like what we've seen before, right? You do products, then put the number here. So we have negative 2 times 2. That's negative 4. That's here. Here. Okay. Now what goes down here, though? Well, negative 3 plus negative 4, right? That gives us negative 7. Okay, I put the arrows in to help, get everyone's attention. Hopefully that helps. So we have negative 7 here, right? And it's just like before. You repeat. You have negative 2 times negative 7. That's 14, which is over here. And then you add to get 14. Okay? Again, and then again, you're repeating the process. Okay? I just wrote out all the steps here, so hopefully it would make it easier to see what's happening. Negative 2 times 14, what is that? That's negative 28, which goes there here, but that's over here. You add to get negative 27. Right? That's all we're doing here. That's all we're doing. Synthetic division. So this tells us right away what the quotient and remainder are. Namely, we get the remainder. So this here is the same as over here. From here, we get the quotient is 2 minus 2x squared, excuse me, minus 7x plus 14. Remember, it's always 1 degree less than, it's always 1 degree less than the dividend, which is which is this in this case. You know, if we go back, f of x here, that's our dividend. That's our dividend. Okay, so we have 2x squared minus 7x plus 14. That's our quotient. This remainder is minus 27. So we have this. Okay, good. Good. All right, that's cool. So we divide it. Okay, good. Good. All right. So that's an example. Are there any questions on this one?